Okay, ending the school year, beginning the second one. This will be part 2. Again, this is Tom from Gradelink World Headquarters in today gloomy Southern California. So, for those of you who missed part 1, or if you attended part 1 and you want to relive the glory, you can click here in the great big G in Gradelink in the upper left. You'll see our news and update blog. If you go ahead and scroll down on the issue dated May 9th, you'll see missed part 1 and want to know what happened. You're in luck, so just click where it says here. That's going to take you to YouTube, where you will find the recording of last week's part 1 webinar. Okay, now that I think we've gotten caught up, we're going to go back to Transcripts. You select the student that you wish by clicking on the Select Student button and clicking on the student's name, and the transcript appears. In addition to the different grades, you can also list any standardized tests that the student may have taken that you may want on the transcript, and if the student received any awards, you can include those on the transcript as well. And this is how you do that. Click here in the upper left where it says Students. Click on the student's name, and then click on the button here that says Academics. Three buttons to the right, there will be a button that says Tests and Awards. Click on that Tests and Awards button. And right down here, where it says Item Type, you'd indicate whether or not it's a test or an award. This is a drop-down that unfortunately Join Me doesn't allow you to see, but select Award, give it a name, the date on which the student received it. In this case, there was no score. The student's grade level when receiving it. You can also give it a sort order. If you want it to appear first on the list, you can give it the order 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And so now you see in the list of tests and awards, this really big award is shown. So now if we go back to the transcript, click on the student's name, and then there's the really big award on the 2nd of May. If you prefer tests and awards don't be shown on the transcript, you can do that as well. In the upper right, there is a button that says Transcript Options. Click on it. Then what you want to do is click on the Manage Report Profiles button. Click on your General button. And right here it says Show Tests on Transcript. If you don't want them to appear, click the Edit button and say No. Click on Save. Same way for awards. If you don't want the awards to appear, click on Edit, click on No, click on Save. Now when we go back to the transcript, the tests and awards are no longer there. Any questions on that? No. All right, moving on. If you look at the bottom of the transcript, there is the place for the signature for the official at your school who certifies the transcript. There's also a place for the printed name of that individual. Now, if you're a school that has 100 graduating seniors, and you're the official certifying the transcripts, do you really want to print your name 100 times? Or more, depending on how many schools the student applies to. You can have that added. Do that again. We go back to transcript options, back to the Manage Report Profiles button. Click on the appropriate profile. For most, there's just one that says General. And here we go. The name of the official certifying the transcript. Click on the Edit button. The principle at the Good Enough Academy is do it my way. So we go ahead and add the appropriate title for the individual. Again, click on Save. And then do you want to automatically have the date filled in, where it says Official Certifying Transcript Show Date? You can change this to Yes. Click on Save. And now we'll go back to the transcript. And we'll scroll down to the bottom. And the name of the principal is already filled in, along with the date on which the transcript is produced. So like I say, if you're the one who's going to be signing these transcripts, this can save you a lot of time. Okay, can I answer any questions about including the official certifying the transcript? Okay. While we're down here, if you look over here, you'll see an item that says class rank. This will indicate the rank of your students, and this takes into account GPA first and then percent score in cases where two students have the same GPA. There are two different settings for class rank, and I'll show you those. Here under transcript options, if you want class rank displayed, you would be sure that it's checked here where it says display class rank. And here you have students, you can compare your students graduating in the same year or the students with the same grade level but different graduation years. Most schools will probably want this one so that you're comparing your current students to each other. Now, what's really important, and we're going to come back here to students, for this to work properly, you want to be sure your students have a graduation date filled in. This graduation date needs to be the same for each student in that graduating class in order for the ranking to work right. So once you give all of your graduating students the same graduation date, when we go back to transcripts and select that student, the class rank will show. Right now it's showing 1 of 1 because that's the only student for whom I've included a graduation date. Okay? I'm going to go back to a student who actually has some grades in the GPA. Gradelink will also show you weighted versus unweighted GPA. Weighted takes into account any additional weight you might give to honors or AP classes. You can't have Gradelink automatically add a GPA boost to your honors and AP classes, and you would do this by adjusting your grade scale. So clicking here on classes, and then over to the right, come down to where it says grade scale, and then slide all the way over to the right and look for this button that looks like it has a gear on it. Click on that button, and it takes you to a page called Manage Grade Scale. So if you click on your honors grade scale, or if you have an AP grade scale, click on that. And here is your GPA boost. In this case, it's a boost of 1. So if a student gets 4 grade points for an A, in an AP or honors class where you're using this honors grade scale, that A will be worth 5 grade points. And that's why your weighted GPA can be in excess of 4.0. Some schools have a GPA boost of 1/2 a point for honors and a full point for AP. It's entirely up to you, and it's very flexible so that whatever your school policy is, you can indicate it here in the Manage Grade Scales page. So you just want to be sure if it's an honors course that you give it the honors grade scale. And that way that GPA boost will be applied when Gradelink calculates that student's GPA. Okay, any questions on how to do this? Okay, let's go back to transcripts. Okay, same with your credits. You'll get a total number of credits down here at the bottom. You can also, if you wish, indicate your graduation requirements on your transcript. And you would do this by clicking here on Transcript Options, and then selecting here, Show Graduation Requirements on your transcript. Click on Save Changes, and now when you view the transcript, you can see we've added the graduation requirements as well as how many units the student has earned toward that requirement. Okay, as far as setting your graduation requirements, that's also done in classes. Click here on Classes, come down to Graduation Category and click on the button with the gear on it to the far right. It'll take you to a page called Graduation Requirements Categories. So here are your different categories. Click on it, and you can indicate the number of units required in this particular category to graduate. And then be sure that when you have a particular class, that class has the correct graduation category assigned to it. You can also, if you wish, hide GPA by clicking on the Hide GPA button. If you click on Transcript Options, click on Hide GPA, you can remove the GPA. You can also, if you wish, show the percentage grade as well as the letter grade. by clicking here on next to show percentage grade in addition to letter grade on the transcript. On the transcript, in addition to the name of the principal, you can indicate the title of that individual, whether it be principal, administrator, head of the school. Again, under transcript options, school head title. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and remove the word administrator and save the changes. Now on the transcript, it's the principal. Okay, if you need to edit a transcript, you can do that. So first, say a student has grades that he or she may have brought from another school. You can add them to the student's transcript. So what you would do is click on the Add Grades button. The first thing you want to do is indicate the term for which you're adding. So in this case, I'm going to add semester 1, 2014 to 2015. And in parentheses, you can indicate the school from which the student came. Or perhaps the student took a college course off campus. So you would indicate the name of the college. You then indicate the start and end date of the semester. And then indicate the class. How many credits is the class worth for the semester? Which grade scale? Is there a graduation category involved? And then what grade did the student receive? And what was the student's grade level at the time the student took the class? Click on the name of the student, and then click on the Add to Transcript button. Okay, now when we view the transcript, there it is. Semester 1 from the College of Knowledge, Astronomy, grade A, half a credit. Okay, any questions on adding a class or a grade to a transcript?
No.
The key is the Add Grades button. If you need to edit the grade on a transcript, and I tell you this with caution, because you can do it, but there can also be a pitfall involved. When you edit a grade on a transcript, you're only editing the grade itself. It doesn't change how the grade was on the grade sheet for the class. It only changes the grade on the transcript table, which is used to produce your report cards and your transcripts. So if at a later date, the class for whose grade you have changed for that one student, if that class is unconcluded and then reconcluded, whatever change you made on the transcript is going to be erased, and the original grade from the grade sheet will replace the one that you changed. So like I say, you can edit grades on the transcript. However, Gradelink strongly recommends that if the grade should be something other than what is showing on the grade sheet, that if possible, it be adjusted on the grade sheet. maybe through an extra credit assignment or something like that. But like I say, you can change grades. You would click on the appropriate quarter, click on the student's name, click on the class, and you could then change the grade as necessary. Okay. You can also edit class information. You can also edit information about different terms. Those are typically not something you need to change very often, but they are there in case you need to. Also, if you are for example, a K through 12 school, but you only want the high school grades to appear on the transcript, you can do that by clicking here on the transcript option button. Then if you come down here to where it says report on grade levels between, in this case it's 1 and 12, just change it to 9 and 12. And then click on the Save Changes button. Then when you look at the transcript will only show will only show classes and grades for grade levels 9 through 12. Also, your total credits and your GPA will be only for grades 9 through 12. It won't include any credits or GPA from grades 8 and below. The one exception to this is once in a while a student in the 8th grade may take a high school level course. If that's the case, you can, in classes, turn on what's called the Ignore filter. By clicking on the Ignore filter button, it will make sure that class grade appears on that student transcript, even though it may be a different grade level than what you would normally display on the transcript. So, for example, an 8th grader taking a 9th or 10th grade class. Okay, can I answer any questions? Okay. Gradelink suggests that as you run your transcripts, save them to PDF. You can do this by clicking here on the PDF button. The reason being, that way you can save that transcript file either to a removable drive or to your computer's drive. And should you need additional copies, you don't need to go into Gradelink to get it. You can just get them right off the removable drive or your computer's hard drive. As of right now, transcripts are displayed and printed one student at a time. We have had a number of requests to be able to batch print them. I don't know right now whether or not that's on the development ladder yet, but I know a number of schools have asked for it. So if it's something you would be interested in as well, if you could send us an email to service@Gradelink asking for the ability to batch print transcripts, I'll make sure that your name gets added to the list of schools that have requested it. And Gradelink's very democratic. The more schools that ask for something, the higher it goes on the development ladder. Okay, can I answer any questions at all on transcripts?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so how to end your current year. We've pretty much done that. Now, how do you set up for next year? Most important, you want to go ahead and get your terms set up. And you can do this at any time. It doesn't matter whether or not you are finished with your current year. You can set up terms at any point. So what you want to do is come to the Terms button and then enter your term title. So if you use semesters, you want to start with the semester 1. Report title. Report title can't be too long because it's the header of the column that will contain the grades for that particular term. So if you put semester 1, it's going to widen the columns to the point where they'll probably push your report card onto an additional page. So we suggest at the most SEM1 or S1 or even the number 1 is fine. Then you would indicate the start and end date of that semester. And then click on the Add button. If you use quarters or trimesters, you do the same thing, except just call it quarter or trimester. If you have, a number of schools have 4 quarters under a single school year. If that were the case, you would just call the term title School Year 2016-2017. If you use semesters, you would then want to enter your first quarter. Again, quarter 1, indicate the report title. QTR1 is probably about as wide as you'd want to go. A start and end date. Now, the start and end date for your quarters or your trimesters is extremely important because this is how your attendance sheets get their dates. So if your school starts in August, but the start date of the first term here is in September, you won't be able to take attendance. So you want to be sure your start dates and end dates match your school's calendar. Also, if this is a quarter and you're using semesters, here where it says parent term, you want to be sure and choose the appropriate semester as the parent. This way, Gradelink takes the 2 quarters and averages them to produce a semester grade, and it's the semester grade that goes on the transcript. If you use exam terms, you would enter it here. Start date for your exam term. And then the end date for your exam term. You would indicate that the parent, in this case, since it's a midterm, the parent would be semester 1 of 2016-2017. The exam term. Be sure, if it's an exam term, be sure and click the exam term button. And then weight it. So if final exams at this school are worth 10%, you'd indicate the exam weight is 10%. Click on the Add button, and it gets added to your first semester. So now to produce a semester grade, Gradelink takes the first quarter grade as 45%, second quarter as 45%, and then the exam at 10%. Okay? If the class does not have a midterm exam, that's fine. Gradelink will then count the first quarter as 50% and the second quarter as 50%. Once you get your quarters set up, you'll want to go ahead and copy your classes from your fourth quarter of your current school year to your first quarter of your next school year. And this can be done at any point. You can even do this like the day before the first day of school. That's fine. To copy classes, you would click on the quarter that you want to copy the classes from. Click on the Copy Term Classes button, and it's saying that you're copying them too early, which is fine because there's a setting. If you go to Settings, General, put a check next to Temporarily Allow Early Copying of Term Classes. OK it. Save the changes. Go back to Terms. Copy term classes. It's going to say copy from one term to the new term. Select the new term from the drop-down list. And then right below, see where it says keep students in the same classes. This is really important. If this button is checked, it's going to copy the class rosters as well as the classes. So if you're copying from quarter 4 of last year to quarter 1 of your new school year, and you leave this checked, it's going to copy last year's students into this year's classes. That's a headache you don't need. Just uncheck the box. That way the classes copy, but the student rosters don't. If you forget and copy them, you'll need to go to Populate Classes and remove them from your first quarter classes. Like I said, it's a headache, so I strongly suggest that you remove the check. Click on the Copy Classes button, and the classes will then copy from your fourth quarter last year into your first quarter of the new school year. This is something that if you use quarters, you only do 4 times a year. If your school operates on trimesters, you're only doing it 3 times a year. And if you operate only on semesters, well, then it's just once. Actually, twice per year. So it's easy to forget how to do it. So up at the top, Gradelink has a button here. It says, wondering how to start the next term. Click on it. It gives you a set of instructions as well as a tutorial video on how to make sure you copy your classes. Once they're copied, before school starts, what you're going to want to do is click on your quarter 1. Then over here, click on the box next to Active, put a check in it, click on Submit Changes. That activates the quarter. And if a quarter or a term is not active, your teachers won't be able to see the grade sheets or attendance lists for it. And you can tell a quarter or a term is active when it's green. You can have multiple terms active at the same time. The teachers will then just need to pay close attention that when they select a particular subject, that it is in whichever quarter it is that they want. Because they will see the subjects for both first and second quarter in their drop-down class list if both first and second are active. Okay, can I answer any questions about getting your term set up for next year?
No, I'm good.
Okay, one last thing. If you use financial, you're going to want to be sure that you have your session for next year's school year set up. So if you go here to Financial and then to the Admin button in the upper right, and then click on the Sessions button. You want to be sure you see a 2016-2017 session. If not, you want to create one. You would enter 2016-2017 here in School Session, indicate the date your school opens and the date it closes, and then indicate your receivables when they open and when they close. Now, for most schools, they start taking in money for the following school year when they allow for registration. And for some schools, that can be as early as January. So if you begin taking enrollment fees or registration fees in January, you want to be sure you set your receivables date open that early. And then your receivables open through date. Here's where, as a school, you need to determine, okay, when do you expect to have received all the payments from the current school year? For some schools, they'll leave that open through the end of June. Others prefer to leave it open through the end of July. And then under Receivables Edit Status, you want to be sure you select Open, and that will open your new session. And in billing, when you close your last billing period, there's an item here that says Forward Balances on Close To. What you want to do is select 2016-2017. That way, if a parent has either a positive or negative balance on his or her account, that balance will automatically transfer into that student or that the family's ledger for the new school year. And with that, hopefully, you'll be able to enjoy that long vacation, like administrators get one. But wouldn't it be nice to take that European cruise without having to worry about Gradelink? Actually, it'd be pretty nice to take a European cruise even if you had to worry about Gradelink.
Right.
Okay, can I answer anything at all about ending your year, getting ready for your next year?
When the balances get carried over, do they go into their separate categories, or will it just go to a total balance due?
Great question. You have a choice on that.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that. Click on Admin, and then click on Settings. Right here, where it says Breakdown Balance Transfers by Account Categories, if this is checked, your balances will transfer based on the billing category, such as tuition, fees, lunch, whatever. If this is unchecked, they will break down, or I should say they will not break down, they will just transfer in a lump sum. So again, that's Admin, actually Financial, and then Admin, Settings, and right here, Breakdown Balance Transfers by Account Categories. You want to be sure that's checked, and your balance transfers will be within the specific category. Okay, thank you. That was a great question. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Great. Thank you very much for joining me. We will, within the next day or two, put the recording of this session up on YouTube as well, so that if you are in need of sleep, you can watch this, and this will certainly help. Also, we should, for those of you who might have been interested in the webinar we did last Thursday on the sign-in, sign-out application, I believe that one will be up on YouTube fairly shortly as well. So with that, again, thank you very much. Have a terrific rest of the day, rest of the week. And as always, if we can help you do any of this, send us an email to service@gradelink.com or call us at 800-742-3083. Use option number 2 for support.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Tom.
with that, thank you very much, everyone. It's great to talk to you again. And keep watching the News and Update blog, and keep watching for our newsletter, and we'll let you know when the next webinar is and what topic it is.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day and have a great summer.
Great. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.